Super League spotlight shining so bright. Interviews and news, come join the hype.
Hello and welcome to Super League Spotlight. Today we are talking about one thing, and that's the Betty Codona Trophy Final this coming Sunday. Rona, are you excited?
I most definitely am. I mean, everybody likes to go out and win some silverware, and it's first of the season, so and the first of the newly branded SLBW. So yeah, lots to look forward to.
Absolutely. Have you had a good week? Have you been busy still?
Yeah, just bits of things here and there, as we do. Pretty chill. Like you said, the 207th day of no January. So I said November. It feels like it should be November. But yeah, what about yourself?
Yeah, same. Just January does feel like it's going on forever. I don't really know whether that's a problem. Obviously, paydays are further apart from each other and stuff like that, but I don't know why does January feel so long?
It doesn't usually, but the good thing for us, I suppose, is there's plenty of basketball, and for Oaklands and Caledonia, they've got a final to compete for, so that makes it a pretty good January for them.
Yes, as you say, we did have some basketball at the weekend. We're not going to go through the results like we do each week because we're focusing on the trophy final. We've got our two very special guests coming up very soon as well. But just reading through the results, Durham beat Cardiff on Saturday,
Hmm.
as we thought they were, but probably closer than we possibly suggested as well.
Hmm.
Um, Sheffield beat Leicester away, 105-79. Oakland's got their win just before the trophy final themselves, 93-49 against London. And then on the Sunday, a tough battle up in Scotland for Caledonia, but they managed to get the win, 82-74 against Newcastle. And Nottingham 80, Manchester 85, again closer than we probably would have thought.
Yeah, that game looked like it went to wire. No stream, so again, it's hard to tell ebbs and flows and working off stats. But no, I think those two latter games of the weekend, they were definitely entertaining. Obviously, Newcastle was a lead the majority of the game.
Hmm.
Up at Play Sports, they're probably kicking themselves a bit, but Tierra Rodgers got into foul trouble and had to sit. And I think that is such a big part of their offense that Gwyn was definitely firing all cylinders, but you just sometimes need someone else to help that distraction. There was no Abbey Lowe either. Oakland's in London, it was looking like it was going to be a bit of a Wolves mauling. I think was there 2 minutes or something to play in the first before London got some points on the board.
It was like 32
Um,
two, I think, that first quarter.
yeah, so that's yeah, but you're looking at a team that's undefeated going against the team who hasn't won. So you're
Mhm.
going to expect things like this to happen. Interest in London, I'm sure I've seen they were putting out today about the partnerships between their development clubs and that sort of thing. So obviously they're trying to build from the ground up again. And fair play to them if that's what they're wanting to do. It'd be good though if they did have some form of budget to bring in, some vets or some experienced players or some of those homegrown talents, that have got more playing career behind them to then help with bringing through those development players.
Yeah, and Team of the Week was released earlier this week as well. Marina Fernandez, Davida Dale, Georgia Gale, Danielle McRae, and Emma Gandini making up the five for the Team of the Week. So big performances all round across the league. But yeah, Auckland remain undefeated,
Hmm.
London remain winless, and the rest were kind of as we thought, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, a bit of jostling, but I think for me, what I'm enjoying is there's a lot of close games. There has been some blowouts, but like
Hmm.
you said, Durham Cardiff 11 points in that one. Caledonia Newcastle 8 points in that one. Nottingham Manchester 5 in that one. So it's entertaining for everyone. Maybe not so much the players, the coaches, and the backroom staff when it's as tight as that in games. But yeah, it keeps it interesting, keeps it lively, and makes you have to turn up every single game.
Absolutely. And that's something we talked about Lee last week. He kind of said it's good for the league because you never
Hmm.
really know who's going to win that game. So it's exciting for the neutral fan.
And Sheffield as well announcing another player,
Yes. Yeah,
which
so
I did
still
think they
still
might
new
would maybe
signings
need to
coming in.
strengthen and bring in somebody, and they have. So in danger of looking like I sometimes know what I'm talking about.
Sometimes.
Sometimes very, very marginally. But yeah.
But, so we know that you like to have Rona's rants. I've
I
got one
do.
this week.
Oh,
I've got one.
Mark's moans.
Mark's Moans. I've got one.
Right.
So
I'm
I'm
sitting up
looking.
for this. Whew.
It's on Sunday. I'm
Hmm.
looking through X, and the Nottingham Manchester game obviously not streamed, but I'm looking through the kind of scores coming through on the SLBW X page. And the graphic that they used for the the halftime score or the first quarter score had a picture of former player Jess Wayne, obviously formerly of Durham and then in Nottingham last season, as the photograph on the graphic for the score for the game on Sunday. I think they've played at least 10 games now to get pictures of the new current crop of players. I think you need to
Wearing
be
their
using
Reebok
one of those
strips.
instead.
Yeah, it's interesting because I saw, and we haven't actually talked about this, but I'd seen, when the trophy stuff had been advertised up until now, they've obviously used pictures from the previous trophy, but they've used player who's not in the league anymore. And I was like, oh, would you not try to have just used if it's old trophy pictures, which I get because you're advertising that event. But obviously they've now updated it like for this weekend because I'd seen it's the Eagles, the Gladiators, the Wolves, and the Flyers. They're in the picture. But I
Mhm.
was wondering, I was like, but then I was like, I get it because that must be you're advertising that. So maybe I don't know. Is that a graphic thing? I'm not very good with graphics. So I don't know why I'm
I'm like
lambasting people.
I'm not perfect, and I obviously I make mistakes as well. Graphics not my forte, but I just feel on the main page of the league
Yes,
you
you could have
could
a picture because
yeah
they've got media day pictures and everything. So even if it was just
yes
someone with a ball or yeah, not
yeah.
ideal.
But we've talked about it a few times so far. The Betty Codona Trophy Final on Sunday. Where's it being played, Rona? Where's this game being played at?
Birmingham.
What arena? I can't quite read
You
my
know what? Do
writing.
you know what's really weird? It's the same arena. I'm sure that's in Sheffield and somewhere else. There's multiple arenas with that name
Yes.
that I will never be visiting. It's an
The
accent
utility
thing.
the Utility Arena in Birmingham. I think
Da-da-da-da.
Newcastle have got one as well.
Yeah, is that yeah? So I'm like, oh, jings, we've all got. Whereas in Glasgow, it's the Oval Hydro. There we go. Boom.
Say that one.
So have it the Oval Hydro next to it, or the Emirates. There we go. I can do that.
But yeah, 12 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Oaklands Wolves against Caledonia Gladiators. The league announced who was kind of part of the presentation team for the coverage, and we've got two WBBL legends, Isaiah Stewart and Siobhan Pryor, alongside Anthony Rowe, Daniel Routledge, and Drew Lasker as well for the coverage. So that should be good for people who are watching at home.
Experienced in safe hands. So and they're going to call it right. So yeah, be good. Be nice to watch it as well in person.
Yes. How long's your journey then? On Sunday
Um,
morning, what time are you leaving?
Somewhere between 6 naps and 17 snacks and about 42 hours. No, I don't know. I do know we're leaving at 5:30 in the morning. So if you see me, I might not look quite how I would normally look because I've been up so early.
Half five. That is a long journey as well.
I
Scotland
don't
is
know why I'm saying
Birmingham.
that. I'm a mum now. I mean, I see every hour of most days and then still have to turn up to work and I'm like half shut now. So it's fine. But just pick another day, to be honest. I'll probably exact it like this.
Right, so we got not one guest today, we've got two special guests. We've got Robyn Lewis and Hannah Robb joining us today. I'm excited to get chatting about the final and how their season's gone so far.
No, definitely. And yeah, just he's seeing and hearing where they're at as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, let's not waste any time then. Let's welcome them to the show now. So, Hannah, Robyn, welcome to the show. How are we both?
Good, thank you. Yeah, good to be here.
Very well.
Yeah. All excited for Sunday. I bet you. What? How many days are we now? 4 or 5 days away from the a big trophy final.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's come quick to be fair. Sorry, Hannah, I'm gonna
no, go
it's
for it.
another bag. Yeah, it's come quick. I think because we played Sunday, so my days are all confused. I keep thinking today's Monday. We had Monday off, so it's actually Tuesday. So it's closer than you think. But yeah, no, everyone's really excited. There's been a real buzz around the club this week, so
Mhm.
we're all really looking forward to it, I think.
Absolutely. I'm with you. Definitely. There was a different feel in practice today, just a bit more like we know that Sunday's a lot closer, like you say, than we think. So yeah, we're excited.
You mentioned Sunday just gone, obviously having a game against Newcastle, and it was a tight, close game. Does that set you up well for a competitive trophy final?
Absolutely. I think that's the games that you want to be playing leading up to a final. You want to be challenged, you want to be pushed, you want to know exactly like what we need to do in order to be successful. And I think getting those prep games, those tough games, we know what we need to do.
Yeah. So let's jump straight into it because it is a huge experience. It's a huge thing to qualify for a major final. What are you looking forward to most about the trophy finals? Hannah, I'll start with you.
I think just being like the first thing is actually making the final. I think that's a huge thing for the club and especially like the women's team. And we haven't necessarily had the easiest road to get there. So to be in the final for one is really special. And I think especially like with our team, it's one thing to have good basketball players on your team, but it's one thing to have good people. So to be able to be in that position with the team that we have is really exciting. It's been a tough year. We faced a bit of adversity kind of leading up to it. So to be in with a chance of winning some silverware and making some history for the club is really exciting.
Yeah, Robyn?
Yeah, I would absolutely echo that. Probably speak for both of us when I say the Scottish roots run deep. So we're really excited to represent everything the club represents on that stage. It's huge for us as the first time a women's team has reached a final in the organisation. So that's been a huge step in itself. And then I think just getting there and having the whole atmosphere and having fans that are now travelling with us, it just shows how much the club has grown over the last couple of years. So I think the whole atmosphere and just making it there first of all, and now getting the opportunity to try and grab it as much as we can is really cool.
Just to jump in on that Scottish thing, I mean, I called the game against Sheffield and I kind of called it wrong, that grey area of making the first final, blah, blah, blah. But actually, obviously, it'd been the Pride franchise before. And you guys in 2018, 2 days out, because I was looking it up and it was the 28th of January back in 2018, but you both played in that. And then when I think it was 7 years ago, I'm like, and you're both still dead young. So I'm like, Jings, you must have been like 12 and 15 or something when that happened. But I was like, how does it feel when it was back then, when people maybe didn't expect it of the team and you guys got to finals with the setup it was now to be like playing in your own court, be back together after both being at different teams? Like, what does that mean to you guys as players?
For me, a huge amount. I mean, I wish I was 12 and 15 back then, but I'm a bit older than that. So yeah, I said this in an interview last week. Like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to play for, and a huge thing for me is that pathway for younger players, and Hannah's one of those players, and we now have Kerry, Alex, Emma as more of those players coming through our system. And I think when you actually pause to reflect that that was 7 years ago, and we're still able to be here and do this, that's a pretty special thing that you don't spend much time thinking about because you're so caught up in the day-to-day grind of practice, gym, eat, sleep, do it all again, recover, try and win as many games as possible. I know for me, like that Scottish element is kind of what keeps the fire going sometimes when you've been playing for a long time. So for me, it makes me almost emotional to talk about. And having Hannah, who's been there through a big section of that journey and who I've seen grow so much as a player and as a person during that time, it's really cool that we get to share that together as well.
Absolutely. Like you say, been able to, you say that final was 7 years ago, to actually take a minute and reflect and look on each individual's journey in that time is really special. Like to be in that final, being so young, like it was quite overwhelming. And I don't think at the time you realized like what a big deal it was. So to kind of go and to come back and to be at the club and again, like with that Scottish connection, like coming through that Pride program, like it means a lot. So to then be back here at the club with the likes of Alex, Kerry and Emma, with them having a chance to come through a club like this and with those Scottish roots is huge. And again, just really lucky to be here with such strong role models, some strong Scottish role models it's incredible to be part of.
Yeah, it's exciting as well. I mean, it was a 4 point defeat back then, not to bring it up, but as like Robyn, 34 minutes, 8, 8, and 6. And Hannah, you were 24 minutes, 10, 2, and 4. So I'm like, actually, you were key role players back then. And I assume we'll be expecting to see more of that again on Sunday from you both.
Yeah, I think back then it was a bit of a free hit. No one ever expected us to make that final. So it was a really cool experience that we were very, very young as a unit, all of us.
Mhm.
I was probably one of the oldest on the team back then, and
I
that's
think
7 years ago. So I'm definitely a lot older now. But yeah, I think like, we've ground a lot since then, tried to improve, tried to get better, and hopefully it's enough this time.
Yeah, Rona, that's no way to treat our guests, mine, talking about a defeat in the final.
I guess that's what gets us Scots fired up. We're like, raging.
Do one better next time.
Yeah.
So is this the Scotland versus England? Is that what we're billing this as then?
That's you trying to bill it as that. There's
Don't
three
go
of
for
us on
that
this
angle.
call right here, Mark.
You'll lose loads of supporters off your podcast
I
if you
know.
go for that angle.
Talk to us about Chantel Handy then. Obviously, she's taken the reins as head coach from last season. How different is it from Miguel? And talk through Chantel Handy.
I think just having someone of Chantel's caliber within the program is huge. For me, growing up watching that GB setup and watching Chantel, being able to be around her every single day and learn from her every single day is a privilege and a great honor. And to have, like I say, someone within that role in our club is really special. She's got the experience. She's a decorated GB player, and I think is just a huge role model, not only for me, but for everybody within the club. And I think it's a huge asset to have her.
Yeah, I think, what is it, 140 GB caps and
Something
that is,
insane like that.
yeah.
She's incredible.
Right. You talk about the trophy run, Newcastle, Durham, and then that big semi-final win against Sheffield 68-62. Talk us through the emotions at the end of that game or even during that game when I guess Sheffield, very tough team, they were unbeaten at that point, I think. And yeah, talk to us about that game.
I think we had a league game against them previously, kind of during that period of struggle, and we went to their place and we lost, and we weren't very happy with the performance. So it was nice to be able to sort of reflect, do better next time, and go in with a punch mentality. I've played in the league for a long time, and Sheffield have always been up there as a super aggressive, super physical, well coached team. They contend pretty much consistently every year. For silverware, they're a club that's renowned for that. So we knew that was going to be an incredibly tough game, especially with the talent they have on their roster this year. So I think what stood out for me in that game for us was that we hit back. We played a lot more aggressive with a lot more physicality than we have in other games where we've maybe come away disappointed. And that's definitely something that I'll be looking to take forward into the weekend. We need to show that level of aggressiveness if we're going to be successful against the Oaklands team.
Absolutely. It's always a battle when you play Sheffield. It's you got to prepare yourself like physically and mentally for a battle. And like Robyn said, I think we fought back in that game, and we really, I think, did ourselves proud. Then, like, we walked away knowing that we made the final, but also like we stood up, and we performed. And for me personally, like, it was a special moment to have everyone kind of rally around me in the tough moments. And I really felt that from my teammates, which I think was like huge. I couldn't have got over that finish line without them. So to then make the final at the end of that was just extra sweet.
Yeah, I think me and Hannah have like a running slow motion moment of like collision
Yeah.
where we're just like so excited we don't even know what
Literally,
to
where
do.
do I
But
go? Open my
yeah,
arms and there's Robyn.
yeah, there I am flying through the sky. But I think it's really testament to Sheffield that that celebration meant so much because of how tough an
Yeah,
opponent they are. So yeah, respect to them because it did mean a lot that we were able to put together a performance like that against such a high caliber team.
absolutely.
Yeah, you talk about high caliber teams. Again, another unbeaten team that you're coming up against on Sunday. Oakland's Wolves have a very good season so far.
Yeah, they're a good team. They've built their roster really well, and they are, I think, like you say, they're unbeaten, so they're obviously playing really well, and they play with that high energy. So, for us, we're kind of focusing on ourselves, but I think, like we've talked about from that Sheffield game, we know that they're going to come out strong, and it's about us being able to hit back and be able to take those hits and fight and play together.
Yeah, we interviewed Lee Davey from Durham last week, and he mentioned about the previous game between yourselves and Oaklands, and how Oakland's got the win, and how it's possibly best coming from a losing position in those games because you can kind of put things into place that the other team might not actually anticipate you doing. So yeah, how much can you take from that previous game back in November?
Yeah, I think it gives you a little bit of edge, right? You want to write it once you've been beaten the last time. At that point in the season, we were in the midst of a super hectic schedule with Europe and domestic. And we competed for a lot of that game, but we were disappointed with the second half. So yeah, hoping we can string 4 quarters together, but we've definitely reflected on that, grown a lot since then, but also looking back about how we played against that specific opponent, there's definitely things we can learn and try and get better at for Sunday.
Because it is a final and we're talking about past tense, but is there not just an element of it's just a free hit? Both teams, how are they going to cope on the day? It's both neutral court, it's neutral venue. You've seen it sometimes that teams go and both teams can't shoot at one end. And it's just who's more effective at shooting at the other end, So do you think there is an element of that to it? It's just like, right, who's going to, and within the team as well, who's going to stand up and be counted on that day and who's going to maybe panic and want to hide and not take that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Absolutely.
final, like you don't get that game back. It's not like a league game where, we lost to Oaklands previously. We've got to play them again in February, March time. So we, have another chance. Like it's a final, it's one chance. It's kind of like a free hit. You go out, you've got the buzz, you've got the excitement, and yeah, you just got to give it your all for that one game.
Yeah,
I would definitely echo that. I think like both teams have talent. If you sat and wrote down all the names on a bit of paper, you'd be like, oh, this player, and you could go that way tactically and that way tactically. And yeah, sometimes it is just what happens on the day in that specific environment, but that's what makes a final so exciting, right? And that's why we get excited, the fans get excited, and it should make for a great occasion.
Absolutely. Now I've seen both your faces on my Twitter feed over the last few hours. Robyn, I saw you on the SLBW page talking about the final, and obviously Hannah, Scottish News, I think, Scottish News Channel. Like, how has the kind of media attention been for you? And obviously there's been media days as well with the league. How's all that been for you?
I
Yeah, I
mean,
think, sorry,
go
you
for
can
it.
go. I think we'd probably be lying if we said media was me and Hannah's favourite thing. There's definitely other people in the team that enjoy it a lot more than we do. But jokes aside, I think it's so positive that we're promoting women's basketball, promoting British women's basketball, and like really pushing that out there in Scotland and throughout Britain. So that when you sit back and again reflect is really, really positive, and we want to be role models for the next Hannah's and Kerry's and Alex's and Emma's and all these people coming through. So yeah, it's been a bit different but exciting, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, it's exciting, but in a positive way. It's nice to be able to come on and again, like talk about our journey, talk about the Scottish basketball because it is an exciting time and more people need to hear about it. And it's nice for us to be able to be those role models and show exactly like what we're doing and what can happen.
The media day was that for the trophy final? There's been a clip released today about karaoke songs.
Mhm.
Was
I
that was
think
that
that
part of
was
the trophy?
some league media. I think we were delayed because I think our kits were maybe a bit delayed, so we had to reschedule our media day till we got all of our nice new Reebok kits. And there was some fun stuff. Jamie did come with some fun questions, different questions this time round about karaoke songs and different games. I think there was a geography round. He got us pinning on a map where all the teams were from and whatnot. So it was a bit different. It was a bit fun actually.
Karaoke songs. What was yours, Hannah? ABBA.
Anything by ABBA. I
And
am
then
in.
Hannah Montana. Like, what a great shout that is, Robyn.
I know it's a bit rogue, but I'm all for
What
it.
does Hannah Montana sing? Who is Hannah Montana? I'm old.
You know
Best
what,
of
Rona,
both
see when you
worlds.
get off this podcast, go and put Hannah Montana in on your Spotify and your week will be made. You'll be rocking into that final on Sunday feeling
There-
fantastic if you listen to that.
I'm back for sure.
Oh, I feel like this is not an itch I need to scratch, to be honest.
Like,
I
You're
think
really-
your daughter will disagree.
You're
She's going to have a great week if you play that for her.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus, or am I thinking of the wrong person?
yeah.
Oh, you've nailed it. See, you're already
Yeah.
more clued in than what you think there.
Look at me, down with the children.
You're down with the children about 20 years ago when Hannah Montana came out.
All right, easy. You came to fight tonight. You came with violence. That's like Elsie's nursery sent her home with a whistle on Friday. I feel like everyone's just out for me at the moment. Just 'cause I don't know what Hannah Montana is and want to listen to my child whistle all Fridays night.
I'm just genuinely surprised that you don't know what the best of both worlds is and like you wouldn't be able to sing along.
Me, that's getting 8 hours of sleep and still having a child. That's the best of both worlds.
So, where do you see this match being won and lost? Where do you see the big kind of matchups within it, and how are Caledonia going to win?
Easy as that. Just you put out everything that you have been barred from talking about all your secret tactics and plays. Mark just wants them.
We've just got to try and get something right.
No, I mean, it's going to be a battle for 40 minutes. I don't think it's going to be a blowout either team. I think it'll come down to who's got that discipline in the last couple of minutes. There'll be like little plays leading up to it, but I think it's going to be a fight. Like both teams are talented 1 through 5 and even their bench coming in. So it's going to be a fight, but I think it'll be who's got that discipline down the stretch, you know, knocking down their free throws, making those defensive stops, that the little things that will take us over the line.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say good luck, and there's no pressure, but Rona's having to get on a bus at 5:30 on Sunday morning.
I mean, I'm not having to run around and sweat, so I should probably keep my mouth shut. But, you know, here's the question. I wonder if there'll be a golden ball mark. Are they going to be giving them out, or are they just going to be selling them at the stand outside? It blew my mind that I saw on the website, I don't know if you know this, but you can actually just buy a golden ball on the SLBW website. I'm like, I thought you had to earn those things, not just buy one. I was like,
I'm going to throw it out there. If we win, I will buy every single person on my team a golden ball from the website. Regardless of who gets MVP, I will buy every single person on my team, including my coaching staff, a golden ball if we win this final.
there we go. You heard it here first, exclusive.
If that's not incentive enough, I don't know what is.
I know, nothing else matters now. Golden ball.
Yeah, good luck for the final. We'll be watching, and hopefully it'll be a great game regardless. But yeah, good luck, and fingers crossed for Caledonia, you bring the trophy home.
I just have one last question, sorry, and for both of you. If you were to say to anyone that's listening to the podcast first time, maybe picks it up, why should they watch the game on Sunday? In a line, sentence, mini paragraph. Like, what would be your thing? Like, why? We know how amazing British basketball is, we know how amazing the final would be, but what about those who don't, potentially?
You taking it or am I taking it?
Go for it, Robyn.
This is actually quite a lot of pressure. I'm going to go back to our game at the weekend. A woman came out. She brought her 3 daughters to the game, and she came out. She was absolutely buzzing. It was her first time watching a basketball game. She was like, "That's the most incredible thing I've ever seen." It was like girl power. People were doing this. People were doing that. Everyone was everywhere, and that's how I would describe us. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be fun. It'll be close, and action packed, and it'll be a great advert for someone if you've never watched basketball or if you've never watched women's basketball before. This will show you exactly what it's about and why you should be involved.
Couldn't have said it any better, Robyn. Good job.
More than this, I'm a bit of a talk.
No, I think that's a great place to finish. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and you need to watch it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thank you. Good luck for the rest of the season as well as on Sunday, and hopefully we'll talk to you again before the season's out as well.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.